Familia, friends, we have big news for you.
Go ahead.
Nosotros,
We
are going to open the doors of our Zoom living room in 2 weeks.
2 semanas.
2 semanas.
We are excited. I don't know if you can tell. We've been hoping and praying for this for a long time. If we could rewind the tape though a little bit. Go all the way back to January. January, we opened up actual doors to an actual living room, and we started as a house church. And we met, we broke bread at real tables, like real tables with real food and
close to each other.
People. And
Eating.
we went from that table to the Lord's table, and we celebrated in communion and remembrance, and we got into the Word together. We worshiped and sang with people next to you in the same room together. It was so beautiful. So that was January. We did it again in February.
More beautiful than anything, more beautiful than anything, Jesus.
Something happened in March.
Then March came.
March came.
And a lot of question marks and exclamation. All the things happened in March. And during that time, Inez and I, we came together. We were disoriented.
Yeah.
And then we moved from that quarantine time to a time of real racial reckoning in our country.
Yeah.
And in that time, we again sat in it and we moved into lament. And we really knew that it wasn't time to move into this wide open space, but was instead a time to gather our closest core team of this church. And over the past 6 months, we've spent our Sundays with them, pouring into one another, really in a way that we wouldn't have done by our own design. But God used that. God was not in quarantine during this time.
The Spirit was not quarantined.
Amen. And God used that time. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, our church had their first baptism in a backyard. Everybody all spaced out, but celebrated in such oneness and such goodness. We can't wait to tell you all that story come down the road. But as we've been praying and as we've been discerning, we've realized that for such a time as this, it is time to open up our Zoom living room doors as wide as we can.
For such a time as this, but really we have been working and doing this work in and through the local church for over 20 years. Bobby and I, separately and together, we believe and have believed that the church ought to be a reconciling witness, a credible witness of the power of the cross to reconcile us with God, and also the power of Christ to reconcile us with each other across all lines that divide. And if anything, what this COVID-19 crisis has done is it has exposed all the things that we've been saying for a very long time. And where the church has lagged behind, we believe the church ought to lead ahead in love and justice and mercy and reconciliation. So we want to be, as best we can, a credible witness of God's love and God's mercy and God's justice and God's hope in and through just one other expression, which is one of many expressions of hope and God's kingdom here on this earth.
Many of us are looking to where to turn to in such a time as this. Where can we actually put our hope? Where can we actually allow our bodies to feel safe? Where can we come and let our guard down? Where can we leave being filled back up with something that can send us out into this world that is filled with all sorts of beauty, but also all sorts of brokenness?
Yes.
And we believe the local church is still that place. We believe it's the place where we can come into the faithfulness of God, God who is first faithfulness to us. We can come to the place where God is allowing us to sit in the hope that only comes in and through Jesus Christ. We come to that place where we get to experience God's love, first for us and then for Him and each other. And so, Lord, please give us space to come together and to find that faith, that hope, that love, and in so doing that we would find a sense of a shared healing together, a shared hope together, and a shared love together.
Yeah, and so we want to extend this invitation to you all. So for the first month, we want to share our shared history, our shared hearts, and our shared hope, and that will begin in a couple of weeks.
So yeah, September 13th, come and join us. We'll have the info on the website, thechurchwehopefor.com. We would love for you to stay in touch with us. You can sign up for updates there as well, but please set the calendar. Come hear about, what was it again? You said it so well, Pastor.
Shared history.
Shared history.
Shared heart.
Shared heart.
Shared hope.
Shared hope. We want to share this hope with you as well. Come and join us September the 13th. We love you guys.
Awesome.